Alright, welcome to the Noosa Enduro race report. But first, here's my brand new bike, Scott Attic 30. Yeehaw! But then I did this, kind of, that's not actually me, and ended up in a situation like this, with a 6 centimeter tear in my rectus femoris and a 3 centimeter tear in my vastus longus. And I thought all hopes of the Noosa Enduro were gone. But I decided, you know what, I'll prepare for it anyway. I'll get the bike ready. We'll go up for a whole day in Noosa, and if I can ride my bike, I'll just participate in the event. I'll see how far I can get, and whatever happens, happens. It was pretty good. I felt pretty good all through the week, did some rehab, did some osteo, P3 cold pulls. As you can see now, I've got it taped up. And I was like, you know what, I think I can do this. I did a Zwift session, and I was like, yep, let's go. Let's go up to Noosa, let's ride my bike, and let's have a great time. And I purchased these 38mm stubby little tyres because I have got 32s on there at the moment, and I was like, you know what, I definitely need some extra because my skills aren't the best. So we got up to Kerry and Dougal's brand new place. I won't show you the house, but this is the morning sunrise view from the day before. Stretching it out. I couldn't actually do child's pose because of how the recovery in my thigh is. Just lengthening my thigh is not great time. It's all good now. So the first pose, child pose, couldn't actually do. Ended up warming up into it and got quite a lot of movement out of my thigh once again. The breath work of yoga, the stretching and moving and calming of yoga, the sun coming onto me, watching all the birds and animals around. It was just a really nice time. We had an absolute blast up there. Had a fire, had some s'mores, just absolutely living our best life through their life. Watched a heap of sunsets and got ready for race day. So as always, I rock the trail brew in all my drinks. I actually only go a heaped teaspoon, just because I don't like any electrolyte too strong. Even though I could probably have double scooped this, I don't mind a single scoop. The way it's not overpowering and I'm not chasing extra water. I actually had a bowl of oats for breakfast before the race because it was like 140k. That's a long day. I dribbled some back in for the next scoop just because. Usually I'd only have a Cliff Bar before the race. And then I also had a not coffee because I'm not really trying to do caffeine at the moment. Onto the start line. Before I actually got to the race, I'd adjusted my brand new mountain bike pedals that I just bought on the way up there 3 times to get the cleat position right. Thankfully, I nailed it as I rock up to the start line. I move it one more time, and that's where I'm going to leave it from now on. We roll out, and the first couple Ks is neutral zone behind a police car, which is great for me. I can suss out everyone's positioning. For me, I know I'm quite a fit rider, but not a technical rider. So, as you can see here, a couple guys pass us. Obviously, if I was racing, I'd want to go with them. But because I'm just trying to survive this event with my leg and my skills, I decided to sit behind. Then we hit some road before this section, and I TT'd up to this bunch here. They're pretty strong riders, but it was great for me because that way I could ride with the uphill and the flats and the road with them. But on the downhills, I was just getting dropped and then having to bridge back up constantly. As you can see on this panning angle through here, is a good little bunch, and I was pretty stoked to try and just sit on the back of them and hope that my skills were okay enough to not get too dropped. We ended up hitting some road sections, and it was really good. I wanted to pull some turns and put some pace in, but then I remembered it's not actually a race, and I'm just going to sit in. So I just sat behind these guys, had a great little tow, and then I started getting pretty confident and trying to take their lines around the corners and the dirt and all the rest. It pushed me quite a bit out of my comfort zone, but I could feel my gravel skills increasing exponentially through the whole ride, or what I thought was increasing quite a lot through the whole ride on the gravel. What's coming up soon is not actually gravel. So we turn this corner and then stuff starts getting bumpy. Watch this guy at the front here, watch his water bottles, ready? Boom, see you later. Both water bottles gone. Somehow I dodged them. And the GoPro actually doesn't capture it because it's the Hero 11. It's got that thing where it stops it from being too bumpy. This bit was crazy bumpy. I've never ridden over anything this insane on a road bike before. Mountain bike, no worries. But I'm on a roadie with 38mm stubby tyres. It's pretty intense for me. It's my first gravel race. It felt like it was like a mountain bike cyclocross, and I was on the wrong bike for half of it. But I got through, and I was honestly just coming over these bumps here thinking I was going to go and break my bike, or like I could hear the chain slapping, and I was like, man, like, it's a brand new bike, I'm going to look down and it's broken. But somehow it held up pretty good, and I kind of just did whatever I could to stay upright. And then we hit these beautiful sections, and this is what I would call gravel. There's still some bumps, there's still some loose sand, and like you wouldn't want to hit anything too hard, but look how nice and smooth this is. It's bumpy through here actually. But being able to just open up on these old roads, kind of like slipping and sliding around, so much fun, good speed, and I'm not trying to like jump over trees or anything crazy like that. And it's not actually a race, but when a guy in his shorts and t-shirt passes me, I don't want to be dropped by him. I'm in a cycling kit looking like a wannabe cycling pro dude. But that section was actually bumpy enough, and we hit this really rocky patch, and I'm just trying to hope to pick a good line. And just up here, this is one of the pro guys that we caught because he got a puncture from hitting one of these bumpy bits too hard. So I ended up somehow passing a really fast guy because of a puncture like that. Now we start hitting some real technical descents. Kinda pooping myself, but also having an absolute hell of a time too. And yeah, dropped again, but caught back up again because it flattened out and it started climbing, and it's nice and smooth through here. So I'm trying to catch back up to the bunch so that if it does flatten out, I don't have to push too hard on the flat and can just get a free ride with them. Also so I can follow the line and learn how to ride this stuff, because a good line is everything in amongst all this mess and chaos of a road, if you would call it a road. So as I slowly reattach myself back to this pack, I'm kind of enjoying things and having a great time. And it may have been around here, I look at my watch and I realize we're half an hour into the race, not a race, into the event, and it's pretty much would be a 6-hour day, I reckon, for me. But I think it's the rush and the excitement, how much fun it is, and also how much attention I'm having to pay to not fall off my bike is making it seem like a lot when it's not a lot, if that makes any sense. But here I just start following lines, so this guy chops across, I chop across, he could ride off the edge, I'd ride off the edge. 1, because I'm learning, 2, because I'm drafting.
Yeah, go left if you want.
But here we go. That's that pro guy that had a puncture before, he's already caught back up to us, and he just like runs down this hill somehow. Listen to my bike. Like, this is mountain biking on a roadie. We're just jumping tree roots. It's insane. This little corner was pretty fun. I hit the sand on the washboard and I was like, whee! Again, GoPro doesn't capture the sharp things, but it was actually fun. It was a little bit scary because first time doing it, thinking I'm just going to break my bike every time I descend. But thankfully, it was all good through that section.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So as just seen, my skills uphill are lacking as well, unable to jump over tree roots and things like that, having to clip out. Thankfully those brand new mountain bike shoes come in very handy at being able to clip in and out quite well. This section I think was actually really fun if I remember it correctly, because it's kind of mountain biking on a roadie, so it's fun, it's fast, it's a little bit slippery, and a hell of a time, but still safe enough. And here I am clipping out again. There was plenty of hiker bike action in this entire race. As you see, proper tree roots.
I did it!
And as you can hear, I was stoked to be able to do it this time and not have to unclip again. Alright, another sick little downhill with a whole heap of steps coming right up. Have a go at it. You can see the bump, you can hear the jolt of the bike, its chain. It's just absolute insanity. I was thinking at this point it would be so much more fun and probably faster to be running these trails rather than riding. It's also a little bit scary at riding. I can stop and slow down a lot easier while running, which would have played great later on.
There we go.
And because of this, I was checking my shoulder quite a lot on the downhills because everyone else is faster than me and I kind of suck a little bit at it. Until this moment.
Oh, sorry. Go. Nice. Oh.
I may have jinxed him. Whoops.
Yeah.
And then we hit these amazing open sections like this that just screaming along, flying through, for a great reward after those hard bits. And then straight into some hiker bike sections through this farmland area. But the views made it worth it. Plenty of sled push to practice for the hike bike, which turned out as great practice. Then coming down this grassy hill, I knew that at 32k mark, there was going to be a really steep section that they warned us about before. So I was looking at the Garmin and I was like, all right, we're at about 28, like this steep section is coming up very soon. And then it just kept like not really coming up because we kept going uphill and more and more and more hiker bike. But I wasn't mad about it. I got a little bit of a rest from cycling, but it just made it quite a long day out actually. And then the sky kept opening up and getting these sick views. Coming back down, I didn't get to make up time lost by walking, simply because I was so scared descending, thinking I was going to come to this really steep section that was at the 32k mark. I guess I was a bit too paranoid about it, but it was good to be thinking about it because this section looks grassy, but under the grass is a whole heap of tree roots, mud and rocks, so it's absolute chaos and danger. But for every hard, tricky, scary situation, there was an amazing opening and got to be calm again. I guess you would call it calm. Still gravel, but on 38mm, that type of gravel, sweet as. Then we hit this mad descent. I think I had about 70k an hour right here. Only thing was, at the end of this road is a T section that we had to stop for because cars have priority, as it's not a race and the roads are open. So going from 70k an hour to a stop real soon. And then we got onto like this open road section that went for quite a while, and because it was so calm and nice, I actually forgot about that really steep section that was supposedly at 32km mark. I even stopped looking at my Garmin. I had no idea where I was just really enjoying it, and there was a bunch coming behind me slowly that I could just sit in and ride as a big bunchie.
Morning.
So right before here was a quite solid uphill where I attacked kind of at the bottom of it, but not racing attack, just attacked to get enough speed because I was actually over geared and didn't have an easy enough gear to get up these steep hills quite well. It was a real slog fest. So then I really sent it along this section because I just did this mad climb, and then we started climbing again.
Alright, so I unfortunately missed that. I thought I should have turned that on earlier, but bad stack, just snapped my frame. His rider's coming down now, but there's my frame, snapped. G'day. Hi. And that's how you meant to do it. I ended up in that bush right there. I picked a soft tree because I was just going so fast. Hit this loose stuff right there and was just coming mile an hour into this fence. I just hooked it and just like aimed into the bush. Arm's all red from the bush. This arm's all red. Legs are all smashed up. I landed on my back, so we'll see what the injuries are.
So I survived. I'm well and good. My frame is off to get checked to see what we can do about it. But real shame to end an amazing day like that. That was about 40k into the ride, only an hour and a half into a 6-hour day that would have been. And right after that, the roads got really smooth and quite nice. Everyone was saying the first 40k was mountain biking and the rest was gravel road racing. So, I mean, I stacked it right at the end of the hardest part. I don't know how I'm alive and survived. I was going like 40k an hour, lost control, fell off my seat onto the top tube, felt it crack under my bum, somehow didn't fracture my sacrum, and then cartwheeled into a bush because my brakes weren't stopping me because I was just in loose stuff. Insane how I just walk out of it with scratches. I got a lift in a car back with another guy who did his ACJ on the corner right before that I almost stacked it on as well. So that really put things straight into perspective in that I had a cracked frame and he had a cracked shoulder. Yeah, it's crazy. It sucks a lot, like brand new bike, broken, but my body's healed well and I wasn't even sure if I was going to even race that race after tearing my quad. So I'm not too worried. It's just would have been nice to complete the race, have a good day, and not break my brand new bike. But since then, I've done the border bolt. I'll try and get that race vlog up real quick and see you then.